Like,
Guys, I am not Tonka
fuck?
Saw. I am not Ralph Retort. I am not Jim Medicare. This is not the kill stream or the cunt stream. All right. So anyway,
God damn
hello
it.
everybody. This is the Dark Conservatarian and the two other of the three musketeers of the poor bastards, the Crusader, and of course the Godfather of the poor bastards, S-Man Speaks.
Damn right, motherfucker. How's it going, everyone?
All right. And
yeah.
so before we get into the news and the main subject of the stream, this being Elon Musk helping out Flint, Michigan with their water crisis, I have a few announcements. For the next month, I mean, especially the next 2 weekends, particularly next weekend, I have a business trip. I probably most likely have a business trip the following weekend as well. The next weekend after that, I probably will have some availability, but even then, I probably will be too busy organizing stuff for the family vacation that I'll be in the middle of the very next weekend after that. So yeah, gonna be busy. So no promises at all on whether or not I'll actually get to these Sunday afternoon live streams. But for once in a while, I'm actually able to do the Sunday afternoon news stream. So here we are. So in the news today, I just actually saw a meme about this. I cannot remember what exactly it was, but one of my friends on Facebook shared it, and there were like 4 pictures. No, it was actually 3. In 2018's America, we have like energy company CEOs helping out public water. You have pizza companies helping to repair roads, like Domino's, I guess that's the thing. And America is $18 trillion in debt. But it's not exactly humorous, but it like pointed out a little factoid for me. And I was wondering to myself, is this really true? Elon Musk, a rich billionaire in an evil capitalist system, is helping out in humane ways for people to get their water? Imagine the shock, socialists. And so that's the biggest...
my god. .com. This does not prove that capitalism works. The workers should own the means of production. And no matter what you cite, that disproves my points. I'm going to just strawman them and call them non sequiturs.
Well, it does not... all socialists and far leftists in general keep this in mind, that this is not a complete and outright debunkery of socialism and proving the case for capitalism. We're just mostly reading these articles on Elon Musk helping out Flint with their water situation, mostly because I hear mainly Owen, but other socialists as well, use Flint's water crisis as a wedge to debunk capitalism and try to prove the point as to how it is so immoral, etc.
Even though it was the state's responsibility to handle the water, but that's not my business.
I mean, Dead Horse, he actually argued with Owen in the midst of his debate on Owen's channel. I mean, have you guys seen that stream, by the way?
Yeah, it was a shit show and a half, honestly.
I loved it, honestly.
I needed my caffeine not to just punch my monitor, because that was so frustrating to watch.
I loved it. I mean, I love the way that Dead Horse was being passive-aggressive with Owen. Now, typically, I do not like passive-aggressiveness or smugness, but considering that it's Owen, I think he damn well deserved it from Dead Horse. I love the way that he handled that debate.
Owen was bitch-made.
Especially with the one line he made. He said, Owen, I think you do not have an issue with capitalism. I think the issue that you have is with work. Oh! Thug life, yeah.
We still need to do a thug life on that.
Yeah, I gotta make a Dead Horse destroys Owen McDonald highlights video on that.
I need to make I need to do one on Amanda going thug life on Voltaire.
Oh yeah, I pointed that out. So anyway, what I also need to include in that Dead Horse destroys Owen video is Dead Horse explaining the whole Flint, Michigan water crisis. And I cannot remember exactly what he said, but essentially, I think what part of the story was is that the local government sold the water utility to a single company so that they could have the monopoly. That's more like plutocracy than it is capitalism. I mean, if it was like free market, yes. I mean, if it was like true free market capitalism, you would have like multiple water companies like competing with each other. I do not know of how you would handle the pipe situation, or maybe you would just sell big water tanks to everybody for them to like individually run their houses, you know. And Capistan for the win, everybody.
And caps rule. I'm joking.
But the fact that the government is like essentially rigging the game for a single company, I can't remember the name of it. Again, Dead Horse explains the situation a lot better than I do. But taking that into mind, it's plutocracy. But even if this was like the fault of capitalism, supposedly, here is a big-time capitalist actually helping out the situation. So, capitalism for the win.
So saying that capitalism is evil is just purely wrong.
So, yes, that was a long-ass intro, but let's not meander on. I'm going to screen share now.
The Dark and Cap Servitarian.
Okay, are you guys getting this? Is it flashing?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah. What in God's name?
Jesus fucking Christ.
That was weird as fuck.
It's still doing it.
Still doing it.
There's a ghost in your computer.
Okay, one second.
Your computer's going to hell, Dark Con. It's Halloween.
Okay. Is it still flashing for you guys?
A little bit.
Well, yeah, a little bit, but that's about it.
Send me the article. Well, let me screen share. I think
I'm trying to see if what the browser. Okay, my YouTube browser is not showing that the feed is flashing. I mean, if it's just flashing for YouTube, I don't really care as long as the audience they get it. But anyway, on with the news. So, a meme showed me this, but as I said before about memes don't mean jack shit for information. I told that to Google it, and well, that's a different story. But to confirm the story, that's why I got these two. Emphasis on two articles talking about this. And just going off of the title of this sounds like a real thing. Elon Musk actually made good on his pledge to help Flint.
Now, can he help himself with that facial hair, though?
Oh, wow. Oh man, that is a porn stash right there. I just noticed as how much of a creepy motherfucker he looks like. I mean, not as bad as Mark Zuckerberg, who looks like an alien android, but what would you think that Elon Musk looks like?
He looks like one actor.
He looks better than Zuckerberg, who looks like an NPC. Now, this guy looks like he's going to become a victim of the Me Too movement.
Oh boy.
He kind of reminds me of one actor, but I can't remember his name.
He looks kind of... I mean, no offense to Elon Musk, but he looks kind of like a douchebag. And I do hear actually some negative things about Elon Musk. Like, didn't he slander somebody to be a pedophile or something?
I don't know. Let me look. Maybe Elon Musk, dude. Let me look this fucker up.
Assuming that is true, I think that Elon Musk should be sued for a few $1,000 or something.
He's
paid to the person that he slandered.
He's goddamn. He looks younger than he actually is. He's 47
he looks like he's 31.
Years old. He's 47. Wow.
He's more successful than Christopher Nolan is in the movie industry.
He's more successful than Owen's ever gonna be.
Hey, that's not hard. Everyone who isn't a homeless bum on the street is going to be more successful than Owen.
I'm gonna look up this dude's views while we're here.
I'm pretty sure that Elon Musk is like a leftist of sorts, but that doesn't matter for this. What matters is that he is helping out our society in a humane way. So
his views are a substance.
Oh God.
I'm looking at him.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. I did not read it in the least bit in this article, but I just love the way, the rather snarky way that this article just opens up. Despite being a billionaire.
Millionaires and billionaires.
No. You gotta put more cotton balls in your throat. Millionaires and billionaires. They control the most wealth in this country. And we should tax them more in order to give it to the poor. But anyway.
Dude, that actually was that was actually very good.
Millionaires and I don't give a fuck.
Millionaires and billionaires are the worst.
Well, thank you. I guess I do a better Bernie Sanders impersonation than a Donald Trump impersonation.
You're fakenews.com.
Hello, Red Feather. How you doing?
You're fake news.
So anyway, despite being a billionaire, sorry, I can't help but chuckle at that, presumably busy running both a high-end electric car company and a space exploration company, Elon Musk spends an awful lot of time engaging, well, usually arguing, with random people on Twitter. However, it looks like something productive actually came from one of these Twitter exchanges. On Thursday night, Flint Community Schools tweeted that it will receive a new water filtration system thanks to a donation from Musk.
Golf clap.
That's neat. I mean, so apparently he's not, I don't know. This story is more focusing on public schools. It's not focusing on the entire city and its water situation. So I don't know. Hopefully this article goes into more specific, right? I mean, it's still one step towards progress, so good on him on that. But hopefully this article will still go in further that he is like helping the average citizen with their homes and their water. But if it's public schools, then that's still good on the guy. Anyway, in July, Musk tweeted that he would commit to helping Flint after Twitter users chided him to do something to help the beleaguered city, following his failed plan to rescue a soccer team trapped in a Thai cave with a miniature submarine.
I heard about that. That was a joke. His solution to that whole thing was a joke. Like, it didn't really do shit to help them.
Yeah,
it was just to make himself look better.
I mean, so he was virtue signaling. Virtue signal for the win.
Virtue signaling. No.
But that's not really relevant to me, honestly. I mean, just side note, I don't really care about Elon Musk, but we're just reading this one bit of positivity in our evil capitalist society.
Capitalism
is the problem.
Red Feather says, isn't Tesla way behind in production? Also, I heard Tesla's making their own brand of vodka, so maybe that's what they will all drink, like in Russia.
I'm okay with that.
Actually, now that I think about it, Elon Musk does kind of look Eastern European.
You xenophobic asshole.
You xenophobic asshole.
Yeah, I hate those Eastern Europeans. They can just fuck themselves with their vodka and their AK-47s.
.con is xenophobic and a fascist and a racist and a blah blah fucking blah.
Blah blah fucking blah.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Well,
yeah.
Heil Hitler, bitch.
I'm gonna use that clip.
Oh, Heil Hitler, bitch.
Okay, yeah. Just put me right beside a clip of Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad saying, "Well, Heil Hitler, bitch."
But
anyway,
to look at this, to be completely honest, I mean, the left can have this be up their ass all day. At least something's being done for Flint.
Yeah.
Like, if I was governor of Michigan, I would have intervened a while ago. And, it wouldn't have gotten to this point. If the city's going to fuck up at their job this badly, I would just intervene. I'd kind of pull a Hawk and intervene on this shit and say, you guys are failing to do your job at this point. Like, what's the fucking deal?
And by the way, speaking of the Thai cave, I think that's what is in relation to the whole pedophilia accusations that he threw at somebody. Is that I think it's a Thai guy, honestly.
He was slandering him. It was definite slander.
I got a question.
Thai guy over Thai guy.
Oh god. I got a question. Is saying Thai guy as much of a slur as saying Chinaman?
I don't fucking know.
Thai guy sounds pretty cool, to be honest.
I mean,
Thai guy wearing tie.
I hope not. I hope not. Otherwise, somebody will be accusing me of racism just because I use the term Thai guy. I think they should be held accountable for the tax money they misappropriated. Yes, Red Feather. So anyway, this on Twitter. Flint schools. Thank you at Elon Musk and at Musk Foundation for investing in the health and future and well-being of FCS students. Your generous donation will help us replace all water fountains with new school water stations and water filtration at all schools. Looking forward to our burgeoning partnership. More to come. You're most welcome. Hope to do more to help in the future. Hope so, Elon. So everybody is looking at Flint.
Yeah, and I think would be great is if any of the big issues that they're dealt with to take talking points away from the left. So, except for the shit they want done, like if we get a free market healthcare system, and if it can work better than single payer, then they can't say shit.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of healthcare, we're going to be getting into that news with this Washington Examiner article a little later. Anyway,
the Commonwealth Fund says I'm right. Cult the Ham
2018. I would suggest you work on your Cult of Ham impersonation.
Ow, my fucking ears.
He says
like,
you're not doing it right if you don't rape everybody's ears.
Oh god. Anyway, the district says in a press release that a $480,350 donation from Elon Musk and the Musk Foundation will allow it to install ultraviolet water filtration systems in all 12 of its schools by the end of January. According to the SCS tweet, the district is looking forward to our burgeoning partnership. More to come. As for Musk's Twitter habit, we can probably look forward to more of that too. The enemy of my enemy is myself, says Elon on Twitter, as he's quote tweeting Robert Wiblin. It is kind of amazing that Elon Musk wakes up with billions of dollars, a space colonization company, and creative genius girlfriend, and still decides to ruin his mornings exactly the same way I do, arguing with idiots on social media.
Oh my god.
Okay, yeah, I mean... Right. I mean, that is kind of soul draining. I'm going to be honest. I mean, when I look up every morning that I wake up to go to work, before I get ready, I just look at my phone first, see what's happening on Twitter and YouTube and etc. And sometimes I would come across those tweets that from Owen's fan base or something.
Owen's fan base is one of the most autistic fan bases I've ever seen. Like,
except for Lapis and Charlie Green, right?
Oh, well, of course. Other than that, it's just extra chromosomes everywhere.
I mean, I know that there's this one guy, what's his name, Mr. Sunshine or something like that, who's strongman me at least twice. And actually, there's a third fan. I cannot remember his name, but there's a third fan of, I presume he's a fan of Owen McDonald, that actually had a decent conversation with me. I mean, we obviously disagreed in the end, but I was able to, like, end off the conversation on a decent note just by saying, thanks for the conversation. I want to get on with my day. Good day, sir. And so we just left it at that. Actually, it started off because the guy started off strawmanning me, but then the conversation took off from there on a more decent note. Anyway, this from Business Insider. I got a second article mostly because this article was so freaking short. Elon Musk's $480,000 donation to Flint public schools will help provide students clean drinking water starting next year. I guess what Elon Musk is doing is that it's mainly just public schools. It doesn't have anything to do with the city as an entirety.
I hope it can spread to the rest of the city, though.
Yeah, I hope he, like, it would be great if he donated another $1 million to, like, the central water hub or whatever of Flint, Michigan. That would be cool. Crusader, what about Niger?
It's a country.
Right, but what about it?
Yeah.
That's it. It's just a country. I like saying the word Niger.
Oh, sure. Crusader, sure. Anyway, Flint, Michigan announced last week that Elon Musk and the Musk Foundation have donated almost $500,000 to provide Flint community schools, the city's public school district, with water filtration systems for their water fountains. The water filtration systems will be installed by the end of January, the city of Flint said. Elon Musk said in July that he would help pay to fix the water in every house in Flint, Michigan that has water contamination levels above federal guidelines.
Yeah.
Okay, so he says that hopefully he'll get to that soon, like preferably before the end of this year, but before summer hits next year.
Yeah, I will say this. I hope they tighten like the only thing I would hope they would tighten things like of keeping water clean in the sense like, you know, because I remember reading an article when I was younger about when W wanted to actually lower the acceptable amount of arsenic in public drinking school.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm not lying. It's a true story. But
wait a minute, lower the amount of tolerable arsenic.
Yeah, lower the levels allowed.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I mean, there was a regulation that Bill Clinton passed where you had to lower it. And what I'm trying to say, or at least I hope I'm trying to say this right, is Bush wanted to relax the regulation. He wanted to lower the regulation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, at first I thought that was what you're trying to say, but then I re-listened to what you're saying in my head, and oh, wait, it sounds like good on Bush because he's lowering the amount that is allowed, but no, you're saying that he's laxing the regulation. Anyway, Red Feather in the chat says, in Pasco County, Florida, they have had to close down a school because they had lead in the water and didn't know until many students were getting sick. That's awful.
That is terrible.
So, Anyway, Flint, Michigan. Oh, wait. This is one last highlight. Flint Mayor Karen Weaver said in a statement that she had discussed with Musk representatives several challenges our city is still facing, one of which involved water in the city schools.
If I was in her shoes, I would have. I don't know how much it would cost to fix the water problem entirely in Flint, but I would have framed it like that. You know, like if he was just going to pay for the schools, I'd frame it like cost like I thought it was $22 million, so I'd say something like that. If he really wanted to help, so then you fix the problem entirely, or hopefully this can incentivize other people to get involved. But
Sorry, you go.
Oh, with the socialists, it's like nothing is ever good enough for them, and that just pisses me off. Like,
oh yeah, I wanted to add that side note. You read my mind. I mean, side note, Owen would probably be all like, Elon should like donate his entire fortune to Flint. And then if he was to actually say that, I would just quote tweet him and say, "You're welcome, asshole." But I mean, it might ultimately not be good enough, but it's more than anyone else had ever done before. I mean, say if like somebody was to come in and raise the bar, like say Bill Gates, for example, raise the bar by $1 million. Well, then he does better. Elon was milquetoast in comparison to Bill Gates. I mean, I'm just speaking rhetoricals here, but then we just like build up from there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Red Feather asks, didn't they change the water supply in Flint a few years ago, and that's when all the problems started? Yeah, yep. I can't remember how it started.
It was from them using old pipes, and the lead would break off from the pipes and get into the water.
So, anyway, Flint, Michigan announced last week that Elon Musk and the Musk Foundation have donated almost $500,000 to provide Flint Community Schools, the city's public school district, with water filtration systems for their water fountains. The systems will disinfect water tainted by lead and other bacteria, the city of Flint said in a statement. The new water filtration systems will be instrumental in helping our students return to the normalcy of what should be a fundamental right, having access to safe, clean water from water fountains in their school. FCS Superintendent Derek Lopez said in the statement.
Yeah.
The water filtration systems will be installed by the end of January. Oh man, they have to wait that long? Damn. Okay, so what's this S-Man is screen sharing? Cuck. Oh yeah. Trump calling Romney a cuck. I can totally imagine that, actually.
When he called Romney a cuck?
Look at the screen. Look at the screen. I'm presenting.
I can just imagine this being the reality.
No, I would not put it past him. But anyway, getting on. I mean, reading the timeline here, I really wish that it was a lot sooner. But I mean, I wish Elon Musk would do better, but I still have to give him major props for doing more than anyone else had yet done.
Yep.
The water filtration systems will be installed by the end of January. The city of Flint said, and FCS said on Twitter, that all of the water fountains in its schools will receive filters. You're most welcome. Hope to do more to help in the future, Musk said on Twitter in response. FCS's tweet. Musk said in July that he would help pay to fix the water in every house in Flint, Michigan, that has water contamination levels above federal guidelines. Above federal guidelines, that's like an under-exaggeration. That's like putting it mildly. Like levels above moral guidelines, I would say. Like, the water is freaking brown. Like, brown as dog shit. Have you guys seen the videos of it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, it's that disgusting. I mean, forget about federal guidelines. I mean, if it was at least somewhat looking clear. Oh, God. I mean, anyway, I'm going off on a tangent.
He likes going on tangents.
I'm gonna, well, not as much as you made mine does, though, and not as long as him either.
True.
She said.
I was about to say that.
Oh, God. Anyway, continuing on with the article. Please consider this a commitment that I will fund fixing the water in any house, more like in every house. I would suggest that you reframe that, Mr. Musk. in Flint that has water contamination above FDA levels, he said on Twitter. No kidding. Musk was responding to a Twitter user who said he had been told Musk wouldn't be able to help bring clean water to Flint, whose residents have grappled with lead-contaminated water since 2014. The Environmental Protection Agency regulates drinking water in the U.S., while the Food and Drug Administration regulates bottled water. Flint Mayor Karen Weaver said in a statement that she had discussed with Musk representatives several challenges our city is still facing, one of which involved water in the city's schools. End of article, and that's the end of, not quite the end of the subject because they're still going to go off on,
Yep.
I want to bring some end commentary to that. Musk, as far as I know, he's just giving money to the school systems. At that point, I would say it's on the school systems to devote every single cent of that money to helping restore water. Now, hopefully on the school's part, they do not abuse this money that Elon Musk gives. Yeah. I mean, if anything at this point, immoral or mismanaged goes, I will not blame Elon Musk, honestly.
I agree.
Right.
Also, just so everyone knows, I literally did tweet that image at Mitt Romney.
Yeah, no, I saw
it. I literally did. I don't know if you saw that. I will put that as my banner until he leaves office.
You're gonna have a bunch of hate followers of Mitt Romney who are actually fans of Trump liking that, and then you're gonna have a bunch of loyal followers of Mitt Romney hating in the replies below that tweet.
I will love it. I will heart and retweet all of their hate comments. I will put the blocked by Mitt Romney banner as my banner until he leaves the Senate if he wins. I would take that with a badge of fucking honor, DarkCon.
Yes.
Badge of honor.
Yes.
And speaking of which, about public office, the election in your state's looking really close.
The election in my state, you're talking about the governorship?
Yep. The polling's pretty close.
I do not know who the Democrat candidate is, but I know that Greg Orman is running for governor. Back in 2014, he ran for the Senate against Pat Robertson, which kind of failed. I mean, he seems to be a center-left guy, if not a dead centrist. I mean, I have to look into all the candidates more. I've been meaning to do a Strike Force editorial reviewing all the candidates, but it's likely that at this point that I'm not going to get to it because the next 4 weeks is just going to be busy for me. Anyway, Red Feather says that now you're giving CNN content, S-Man, with sharing that tweet, you know.
Nigers.
S-Man.
You lagged out so bad.
No, that was you, dude, because I heard JJ perfectly when he said Nigers.
Did you just dead name me, you fucking bigot?
I'm sorry, but I don't think you were ever called a girl before your current male identity.
I've been called a girl a few times.
Well, did you self-identify as that?
Fuck no.
In that case, I did not dead name you, so shut the fuck up, you redskin.
I was called a woman once because I had long hair in public, but I had facial hair. So when I turned around, the woman's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." She's like, "Excuse me, ma'am." I turn around, she's like, "Oh, I'm very sorry. I loved it." Okay, the Democrat in your state, Derek Hahn, her name is Laura Kelly. She looks like an older version of Sarah Palin, and then the Republican is Chris Kobach.
Chris Kobach. I thought that was who it was. Chris Kobach and Wink Hartman is running as a. I don't want to say running mate. I almost want to say vice governor, but I don't think that's the thing. No. I think I might be confusing the government terms. Lieutenant governor. That's what it is.
Yeah, Jeff Collier got unseated in the primary. It was close.
Right.
Damn. Press F to pay respects. If I could vote in Kansas, I would write in DarkCon's name. just literally DarkCon, and that's it. And JJ can be his running mate.
I don't run very well, though.
You can walk for governor or lieutenant governor.
Okay, thank you.
I love the self-deprecating humor right there. Hey, you could still run better than Josselman, so
he'll just waddle.
Oh, yeah.
Funny thing is, whenever he does walk, he walks like a penguin. He leans from side to side. Pretty much.
He still walks better than Chairview, though.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry, I still can't help but hold that against Chair. I'm such an ableist shit lord.
Now that, after hearing that he couldn't walk, it explains why his name is that.
Chair.
Yeah, I was wondering about that for a while. But anyway, I love that Red Feather's getting some amusement out of the cancer of this stream. But let's get on with the news. The World Bank basically, in parentheses, tells Trump he's right about, quote, Medicare for all, unquote. All right.
Okay.
Tells Trump he's right about Medicare for all, because I do not know what the exact position Trump has on Medicare for all, because I thought I almost heard him speak some words during the election that almost sounded like they were more or less for a form of single-payer healthcare system. But I'm not so sure.
He supported single payer in 2000 when he ran for president.
Right, but I thought even in 2016 he spoke some words that were favorable for that. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't be shocked.
I saw the bulge on the chest there, and I could not help but scroll back down.
Yeah, of course. The fucking boobs, dude.
Of course, and now we know what
boobies.
Now we know what Darkon's looking at. Now we know what Darkon's gonna look at after the stream.
What the hell, man?
Anyway, actually, I'm not gonna lie. There was 2 black Jamaican chicks that visited our church this morning.
And now we know what Darkon was praising.
Oh God!
Forgive me, Lord, for I have sinned.
Oh God!
Anyway,
I need to go back to the church. Go back to church.
Darkon wants that bra for Christmas. Says Red Feather. Okay.
All I want for Christmas is your bra.
Hey, the feminists wanted to burn their bras anyway in the 60s. So why burn them? Just give them to me.
You do realize most of them are like 60-year-old grandmas, right?
Oh shit, you're right. So surely some of them have to be 20-year-olds.
And 20-year-old grandma?
No, 20.
20-year-old.
Sure, 20-year-old grandma. They had sex at very young ages. No, that. Okay, that gets in disgusting, disturbing territory right there.
I don't even think that's possible.
Why? Okay. Yeah. Getting on too much of a humorous side tangent. I don't know how we got into this. Because I scrolled down to that ad down below.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Red Feather says, all I want for Christmas is your push-up bra. Your push-up bra. Your push-up bra. Okay, there are some typos in that, and I do not know what song she is like ripping that off of. What song that she's parodying?
The whole anyway. All I want for Christmas
is a push-up bra.
All Darkon wants is some black ass for Christmas.
Sure, that black Jamaican ass that visited our church. Oh wait, what? Okay. Reaper, stop taking possession of me. Your body is mine, Zach. Shut the fuck up. Anyway.
That was cringy.
Shut up. I cannot help that I'm being possessed by a dark angel. You're next, Crusader.
You sound like a cuck.
Anyway. No, if I would sound like a cuck, I would be all like this. Are you kidding me?
He sounded like somebody just went up to him and just grabbed his balls and squeezed them.
Well, that is Carl the Cuck for you. Somebody must have grabbed him by his balls during that one rally when he was like arguing with Trump supporters. Well, okay. Why are we all going on this? Can we get back to the news now? Everybody, shut up. All right.
First.
President Trump isn't greatly enamored with the idea of Medicare for all. Okay, so that is the position that Trump is taking right now. That is until he flip-flops like next month on Medicare for all. Like the Bernie bros, they grow in populace in the United States, and he's all like, no, I like Medicare for all. Trust me, I've always liked it. And then Kyle Kulinski will do an expose of, you have been against Medicare for all before, bitch. Or, okay, I cannot impersonate Kyle Kulinski because his voice is so damn cringy. Cringier than mine. Okay.
And that's
fake news. You are
Shut up, S-Man. You know that it's true. Kyle Kulinski has a more cringier voice than me.
I wasn't saying that's fake news. That guy's bitch made.
What the fuck? Red Feather says off topic, but did you talk about Cuck Norris? You're talking about the guy who roundhouse kicked the one pro-life woman? No, I did not, unfortunately. I meant to make a video about that, but now it's cold and it's a dead issue. Yeah, apparently there's like this one pro-choice bitch beta male who roundhouse kicked a pro-life woman who went up to them and was arguing with him on abortion. He was all like, oh, I don't have anything logical or to say to this woman, just kick her because I know what's best for her better than she knows what's best for her.
Kicking women, everyone, is feminism.
Do you guys watch a channel called Freedom Tunes? They are hilarious.
Yes, I do.
Anyway, he considers it another step to socialism in America. Yeah, Cult of Ham would probably read to that, but I would definitely argue that the more you nationalize different industries, the more closer it is to socialism. Like, for example, Venezuela nationalizing the oil industry to give us the modern day pseudo-socialism it has. Or quasi-socialism, whatever.
Not true socialism.
Oh, yes.
Only quasi.
Anyway. It's actually towards social democracy, but that's still not something he's in favor of. Okay, yeah, that's kind of mentioned that side tangent as well itself, the writer of this particular article. That's kind of what I like about Washington Examiner. They're fairly objective when it comes to their interpretation of the news. Anyway.
Unlike Ham.
Yes.
They're also not extremely biased.
Right, that's what objective is like the opposite of biased. But anyway.
Well, I can't. I didn't fucking know. I'm not an English major.
All right, I'm gonna get off my high horse and stop talking down JJ. Anyway, it would seem that the World Bank agrees with Trump that Medicare for all is not the way to push the healthcare system. According to one reading of their last report, the entire system should be pushed the other way completely towards something much more market friendly. A little piggy goes ree, or a scree, or squeal, or whatever. A certain little piggy goes squeal. Anyway, their report, yes, Cult of Ham, that's who I was referring to. Anyway, off that, but no, in all seriousness, Cult of Ham, he's a nice sparring partner. He's an amusing sparring partner, I will say.
He wants to be your partner.
Sexual.
No, just no. God. Their report is about human capital, by far the most important form of capital in this modern world. The founding blocks of it being how wealthy people are, how well educated, and so on. There's then a ranking of countries by how well they achieve these goals of a healthy, educated citizenry. At the top of this ranking is Singapore, which achieves it through its universal healthcare system. I'm hearing reverb. Who does not have their headphones on?
I have my headphones on.
I also have my headphones on.
It's coming from you, Darkon.
You guys are having like some loud headphones, or I don't know. Maybe it is my own.
It's your fault. Hashtag Darkon is to blame.
Education exams, results, and life expectancy figures. The last of those is a result of the first, of course. Okay, let's see what Red Feather has to say. I just think the nickname is hilarious. Plus his name right before he kicked her. Oh, I see. Also says Cult of Ham's strap-on is flaccid. How would you know, Red Feather? Anyway, which means that we should be looking. Okay, which means that we should be looking to the Singaporean healthcare system for solutions to our own woes. Well, yeah, that's another thing about this whole conversation of healthcare. I always hear like Switzerland, Norway, and Sweden, and UK and France always come in the conversation when it comes to healthcare, or Australia, but hardly never Singapore, in all honesty. I mean, I would even argue that Switzerland isn't exactly single payer because they still have like their healthcare, their health insurance privately handled and not publicly handled. I mean, the most that the government does is help subsidize the plans. But other than that, still privatized. When we can point out that it achieves life expectancies above those of the U.S. at something like 1/4 of the cost, then we really should be taking note, shouldn't we? Yeah, good point. The trick is that Singapore distinguishes between what can usefully be done by insurance and what can usefully be achieved by markets and price systems, even gasp by people spending their own money. Our essential problem in abstract is that, of course, we cannot shop around for an emergency room when we've had a car crash. Add to that the uncomfortable truth that some heinous illnesses will bankrupt any one individual who tries to pay for their own treatment. Thus, we cannot use simply a swipe of the credit card to buy all treatment, both because we'll not have market competition for some of it and also because we need that risk pooling, which insurance provides. Excuse me.
You're excused.
Red Feather says, yeah, they can afford the social programs because they don't pay their share in NATO. Oh, you're talking about Singapore? Okay. Well, I don't think Singapore should be obligated to join NATO. Or, okay, are they part of NATO, but they don't contribute any money to the NATO organization? That might be an interesting factoid. Tell us that, Red Feather, please. I did not really expect you to know. I was a question directed more to Red Feather, but anyway.
You sexist.
Yes, I'm a total sexist for thinking that a woman was more informed on the subject than two white males, or mostly white males, anyways.
I'm still like overwhelmingly white, so not mostly. You little Kansas faggot.
Not Singapore, the European country, says Red Feather. Okay, my bad. She says that she doesn't. She says she doesn't know about Singapore either. Right. I mean, that's what I generally hear is that European countries do not. I don't know. It's not something that I researched, but it's a general talking point that I hear that has yet to be like debunked or talked against, refuted.
I can look it up.
All right, go ahead. Like European countries do not pay their fair share to NATO or something like that. And research something that actually mentions stats on that, not just a claim by Trump on that issue. Just FYI.
You're fake news.
Donald Trump is fake news. Irony.
From the list that I got, I know it's from fucking Wikipedia, but I do not see Singapore on here at all.
Okay, I see.
So I'm guessing they're not.
Red Feather says I'm whiter than Elizabeth Warren.
Damn, that's white.
I mean, actually, there's somebody that said that most Americans in the country are more Native American than Elizabeth Warren, at least twice more Native American than Elizabeth Warren. Like, she claims to be 1,024th Native American. That means that every other American in the country is like 1,612th Native American, at least, on average.
I will say this, that 1 in 1,024th is her chances of becoming president.
Yep.
Burn.
Feel the burn. No, I'm joking.
No. Okay, anyway. Yet it's also true that a system where no one ever pays anything out of pocket is going to face almost unsupportable demand and also nearly no price competition to rein in the greed entirely justified remuneration of the suppliers. Okay. The trick is to use those parts of each system where they'll do most good, which is exactly what the Singapore system does. Each individual must pay some portion of their income into a health savings account. Yes, and that is something that Humane Mind supports, is health savings accounts rather than actual health insurance. And I think even Cold of Ham would take health savings accounts over insurance, but above all, Cold of Ham obviously wants a Medicare for all.
Medicare is good.
Red Feather says, lol, if she runs, the debates between her and Trump will be epic.
Very true, actually.
I don't know.
He means to address her as Senator Warren, but he actually calls her Senator Pocahontas.
Hello, Senator Pocahontas. Oh, fuck.
Honestly, I think that, I don't know.
She's a folk.
I don't know that much about Elizabeth Warren, but I can only imagine that just as a general piece of information that she's a little bit sharper than Trump when it comes to the facts, at least. When it comes to humor, probably not near as much, but still.
But I do know that the tribe that she belongs to, the Mohicans. Yes, okay. I got that. Yes, I got that from Freedom Tunes.
Right. All right. The trick is to use those parts of each system where they'll do most good, which is exactly what the Singapore system does. Each individual must pay some portion of their income into a I already read that part, into a health savings account. This is then used to purchase routine treatment over the years. Any balance remaining at retirement is added to their pension fund. But obviously, some of us need far from routine treatment. So for anything that is catastrophic, the bill is picked up by the government. This produces long lifespans at some 4 to 5% of GDP, about a quarter of what the U.S. currently pays, and about half or a little less than European healthcare systems do. All right, and I just got to say, side note, that of how expensive, of how much percentage of GDP that Americans individually pay into health insurance is not really an issue to me. It's kind of irrelevant. I mean, especially considering overall we have like one of the best, if not the best, health treatments in the world. Anyway, that is by properly identifying where we can use personal out-of-pocket expenditures and where we've got to use insurance and risk pooling. We can have a better, cheaper healthcare system. It's just fine if it's government covering part of the cost through taxation, as long as we do get those first baby steps right. The solution to America's healthcare woes is health savings accounts plus catastrophic health plans. This is what Obamacare doesn't allow. Not properly, and nearly the exact opposite of Medicare for all. I mean, exactly. I mean, I keep on hearing as to how, like, Obamacare gets rid of these, quote, junk plans, unquote. When really, I don't care what the government and what the organizations running Obamacare, the program, I mean, consider, quote, unquote, subjectively consider, quote, unquote, to be junk plans. I mean, if the free individual in America wants to keep their supposed junk plan, well, then let them, damn it. That's their liberty. But no, instead Obama touted the lie. If you like your plan, you can keep your plan. Lie. Anyway.
If you like your dildo, you can keep your dildo.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I like taking the piss out of Obama.
All right. So Trump is right to say that the current offerings from the progressives aren't the right way to go. We really should be copying what is probably the best healthcare system in the world, certainly by far the best one for the money, which is, as the World Bank points out, one that properly uses both markets and insurance to extend lifespans for less money. Who wouldn't want that? End of article. And I would say nobody would not want that.
Really? Yeah, nobody would not want that.
Okay. So these are like, okay, how...
Wait, what about a Marxist?
Marxist?
Oh, it's Mexico. I thought it said Marxist for a second.
Okay. Never mind. It says Mexico. I mean, this is talking about international trade deals. So this is kind of expounding on the issue that we were responding in large part to Melissa Carley yesterday, is on trade.
Ford for president.
All right. So this from amp.timeinc.net. Fortune. Ford prepares for mass layoffs after losing $1 billion to Trump's trade tariffs, report says. And this is like a good case against tariffs, I say.
Yeah.
So everybody listen and listen good. Ford is having a bad year in 2018. Its stock is down 29%, and the tariffs imposed by President Trump have reportedly cost the company $1 billion, as the company is in the midst of a reorganization. Now the company is announcing layoffs. Jim Hackett, Ford's CEO, is working to engineer a $25.5 billion restructuring of the automaker, hoping to cut costs and remain competitive. The Wall Street Journal reports. But auto sales are down, and one reason is the trade tariffs that Trump has imposed on metals and other goods. According to Bloomberg, Hackett has said they have already cost the company $1 billion in profit and could do more damage if the disputes aren't resolved quickly. Ford, the #2 U.S. automaker by sales, is making aggressive job cuts as part of that reorganization. NBC News reported, while the company hasn't said how many jobs will be lost, a report from Morgan Stanley estimates a global headcount reduction of approximately 12%, or 24,000 of Ford's 202,000 workers worldwide. Okay. So what kind of striked as a red flag for me is that it mentioned like 3 mainstream media outlets: Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, NBC News. Although, okay, Wall Street Journal I know is pretty fairly biased, and Bloomberg, they're kind of left-leaning, but I don't know, maybe they're a little bit more objectively minded than Wall Street Journal. But NBC News I know is, for a mainstream outlet at least, is more objective in comparison to, say, MSNBC, CNN, or Fox News.
Especially better than CNN.
But I don't really have any reason to doubt this. Anyway, so continuing on with the issue of international trade, this from Reuters. Mexico says new U.S. trade deal won't block other economic relations. Mexico City, Shanghai, Reuters. Mexico's Foreign Minister Luis Videgaray told his Chinese counterpart in a phone call on Saturday that Mexico's new trade deal... What the fuck? Why does it keep on scrolling me down to this? Stop that, Reuters. Told his Chinese counterpart in a phone call on Saturday that Mexico's new trade deal with the United States and Canada will not impede economic relations with other countries, according to a foreign ministry statement. Okay, so this is not really making the case against tariffs necessarily, but it's like making the case that Trump, you're not going to hurt Mexico with tariffs that you're putting on. I mean, if your goal is to like hurt Mexico because they're like saying supposedly being unfair to us on trade or whatever, and you want to hurt them because of that, well, you're not doing it very effectively because they have all their other trade partners. And this is the case being made by Reuters.
Yep.
So the pact set to replace the North American Free Trade Agreement outlines that if one of the partners enters a free trade deal with a non-market country such as China, the others can quit in 6 months and form their own bilateral accord. And so to my statement a little bit earlier, so therefore it seems kind of a moot point whether or not to hurt Mexico. So therefore give people the liberty to trade with whoever they want. Anyway. The mechanism would support U.S. President Donald Trump's efforts to isolate China economically amid an escalating tariff war between the two economic powerhouses, and give Washington an effective veto on any China trade deal by Canada or Mexico. And by the way, S-Man, are you okay? You seem to have a real dip in your mood or something.
No, I'm just reading this as well. Why?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
Let's just talk about that off air, if that's fine.
My bad. Sorry. I mean,
it's okay.
I mean, I guess that's what we get for when we're in like this euphoric, like cancerous stage of like making cancerous jokes, and then we dip down to more serious topics. It just makes everybody straight-faced. Okay.
Straight face.
Videgaray did not detail whether Mexico would seek such a deal, but said the new pact called the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, would not block bilateral accords with countries not included in the deal. Videgaray emphasized that none of its conditions constitute an obstacle for bilateral relations or economic exchanges that Mexico, as a sovereign state, maintains with other nations, the official told China's Wang Yi, according to the statement. A statement released on China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs website on Sunday said Wang called China and Mexico all-round strategic partners and noted that had both consistently supported understood and trusted each other on major matters. Any bilateral and multilateral free trade agreements should not be directed against third parties, nor restrict other members' legitimate rights and interests, and further should not be exclusionary, the statement said, quoting Wang. China and Mexico are both emerging market countries and should uphold multilateralism and the free trade system, the statement said. U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross has called the provision in the deal with Mexico and Canada a poison pill that could be replicated. End of article. All right, so what's going on in the chat? Let's see. Red Feather says Marxico, the SJW ethno-state.
Oh my god. Marxico.
Yeah, replace that with Islam Marxistan, S-man. You'll probably be called a bigger racist than the original title that you gave for that country, that made-up country. Red Feather also says, maybe if Ford could produce vehicles that didn't randomly catch on fire, they would be doing better.
So, Red Feather, are you talking about the Ford Exploder?
Why has everyone glossed over the fact that Dianne Feinstein had a Chinese spy working for her for 20 years?
What? Wait, what?
She supports the NSA, yet she got mad when the CIA was spying on her office.
Ironic.
Damn right, motherfucker.
And why did Google help China censor its internet? Because Google is corrupt?
Because Google can go fuck
in short.
Google got cucked.
Google's always been cucked.
So, the reason why we're about to watch this video here is that S-Man recommended it off air, and I do not quite understand the details of NAFTA. I mean, I'm for free trade. So if NAFTA and TPP are just supposed to be a reassuring of the provision of free trade in the same way that the military or the police is supposed to be reassuring of people's individual rights, but ironically also taxes them to fund those protection of people's rights, well then I would say it's no big deal. But if NAFTA, say, is rigging the game, rigging the economic game outright for one competitor over another, well, then that would kind of raise a red flag for me regarding NAFTA or TPP. So anyway, I'm going to take off the headphones and get everything more proper.
If I'm not paying attention that much, it's because I'm watching a football game.
All right. And, you know, I really got to, find out what's the issue with OBS so that I can, more professionally stream these.
Yeah, or if you download the video, just go look at Humane's video on how to handle audio and video.
Yeah, but the thing is that I don't know how to get my own. I think the way that he explained it, I need to download each and every video that I want to feature on my channel before I can feature them. Brandon says, "Hey, can I get an invite?" Sorry, Brandon. The Strike Force news streams are more they're more co-host specific. Mm-hmm. Maybe I can give you an invite off air if there's something that you wanted to quickly talk about. But I mean, if this was a Strike Force discussion stream or Strike Force interview, well, actually, a Strike Force interview would be more one-on-one with me and my guests. But if it was a Strike Force discussions, then I would say, yeah, sure. But Strike Force news is more co-host specific. All right. He says no worries. That's cool, Brandon. Anyway, taking off the headphones. And let's learn some shit.
Yay.
I would like to renegotiate it.
NAFTA.
The worst trade deal.
But it wasn't always that way. The North American Free Trade Agreement was supposed to
expand our exports, create new jobs.
And most people were really excited about it. So what actually happened? What did NAFTA do that was good? And what did it do that was bad? To understand that, you have to understand America's relationship with avocados and shoes.
Okay, and that's kind of what seems kind of funny. Using avocados and shoes as your for your freaking analogy, doesn't this sound kind of silly to you guys at first?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, shoes and avocados. But as you watch on, it makes way more sense.
And also, I'd like to say avocados are disgusting.
Avocados are awesome, especially on a sandwich.
Same with guacamole. It's gross.
Guacamole is awesome, you uncultured swine.
Avocados are degeneracy, just like the fucking anime I looked up. That Aspie told me to.
Man, you don't like pineapples in general. You don't like coffee. You don't like avocados. What else do you not like?
Your attitude. I'm kidding.
And communism.
My attitude is not edible.
Or palatable in general. I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
Well, Google thinks it's a whole lot cuter than Owen's personality, at least, so...
Well, I mean, she's not wrong. I mean, comparing your personality to his is only socialism.
And plus, you have a personality where you get flustered very easily.
Yeah, with the exclamation point, question mark.
I have more of a sense of humor and can take a joke a lot easier as well. Even if you guys keep on repeating the same dead joke, like...
It's because it makes you salty. That's really the only reason I repeat it.
Hey, at least I'm not salty to where I'm all like, we're done here, alright? Get off the stream! Right?
Yeah.
True.
Okay, never mind. Anyway, I mean, if it started off with like shoes and slippers or shoes and sandals, then it would make a little bit more sense offhand. But here's the thing. What do shoes and avocados have in relation with each other? Or maybe it's because they have nothing in relation with each other, why they're using them as an analogy. So anyway.
It's actually a real life example with I think at least avocados, if I remember correctly. I've not seen this video in a bit.
Oh, Red Feather says avocados only suck because it takes the tree 7 years to produce fruit. I have to agree with that. Avocados are freaking expensive and hard to produce. That's the one downside with them.
And plus, they taste disgusting. So
yeah,
yeah. Well, that's just...
It may be good for you, but
that's just like your opinion, man.
You also like coffee, so I don't think your opinion matters in this.
It's also just like, my opinion is right, man. I think I just killed DarkCon's hero.
And I just realized he has a fucking libertarian coffee mug.
Damn right, motherfucker.
I could use one of those.
That's not how you do it, DarkCon. Here's how you do it. You get your face like real up close to the mic and you go, "Damn right, motherfucker."
Or even better,
damn right, motherfucker.
Okay, that's much better.
oh fuck. I just realized I put my mouth so close to the fucking mic that I end up almost eating my fucking pop filter.
Real men drink coffee black. I can tolerate black coffee, Brandon. It's just not my go-to. That's all I have to say.
The big black.
Anyway, yeah, the big black dick like you like it, JJ.
Now that's you.
I like the big black booty, but not the big black dick. Anyway.
You like the big black booty with a pussy and a dick.
That's disturbing.
It's also possible.
I'm needing bleach right now. Let's just continue.
Yeah, let's continue.
One part of NAFTA we don't often think about is this. NAFTA changed how Americans eat. One of the most successful Mexican imports to the U.S. is avocados.
Avocado consumption in the United States has exploded, going from 1 pound per person to 7 over the course of 20 years.
That's
Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, avocados were a seasonal thing before NAFTA. Now it can be a year-round thing.
And they make toast out of it, which is gross.
That should be like Pinochet should target y'all for that. Like, god damn it.
Fucking liberals and their fucking avocado toast.
Fucking liberals.
I mean, I don't get this. Like, is it a way to, like, help subsidize business or something? Or is it, like, a more free market and libertarian orientation that this bill is? I mean, let's get into how it works.
Sports avocado expert David Yanofsky.
U.S. production has been flat, but Mexican production has been through the roof.
Before NAFTA,
Yeah.
Americans didn't eat a lot of avocados. They only had access to them from California and Florida, and only seasonally.
Most of the avocados in the world are grown in Mexico.
And for 80 years, Mexican avocados were banned from the U.S.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they were banned for a while, and if thankfully this was repealed after NAFTA was put in place. I mean, and this is the thing with trade. The United States isn't that good at growing avocados, but Mexico is. And I think that if one country sucks at growing something or making something and another country's good at it, that can make a really good trade deal.
It kind of balances everything out. Sort of like how I wish Democrats and Republicans could get along better so that they can work out their kinks with each other.
Okay, so Brandon says I'd rather drink hot sauce, so I take that he just overall doesn't like coffee. I don't know. Clarify that, Brandon. What do you think of coffee? But anyway, as I'm one to say, if NAFTA is supposed to be a bill that unbans avocados from being sold around the world by Mexico, well then I can really see the libertarian orientation of NAFTA.
Yeah. Red Feather says avocados grow fine in Florida.
Well, that's what they just said right here in the video. But anyway,
I mean, for the rest of the United States, if the rest of the country is not able to.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Brandon does like coffee. He says in the chat. Thank you, Brandon.
Ew.
Anyway.
Fucking degenerate.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, probably only the real rich that could easily access to avocados knew that. But yeah, I do honestly like avocados. Anyway.
NAFTA made them available year-round. And it turns out, Americans love avocados.
It has become much more broadly popular.
Except for JJ and S-Man.
But I will say that salsa is fucking bomb.
If I could, I would throw avocados at Darkon.
Same.
Like Rotten Tomatoes at the King way back in the medieval days.
Yep, and hopefully it smears all over his lesbian pea coat.
And all over his face, and this time it's going to be green and not white.
Brandon, you want to talk shit? What way are we fucking pussies, you fucking redneck? Anyway.
I'm not a redneck, I'm a redskin.
No, Brandon. Did I say JJ? I meant Brandon. Oh.
No.
Except for Zach. I think he might be referring to how you guys are pussies for disliking coffee and avocados.
Darkon loves avocados, so he is no longer xenophobic.
Haha! There's an anecdotal piece of evidence. Oh,
Darkon.
I'm not phobic in that area.
Darkon, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I thought my audio cut out. Okay.
Well, you were muted for a second there, but I did not know why that was.
Well, I had someone go in the room and they're all asking me a question.
What the fuck? S-Man, don't censor Brandon for saying you guys are pussies for not liking avocado and what.
That was my evil twin. I didn't do that.
You fucking liar. Anyway.
Also, I'm not censoring him. You can say that again.
Yeah, say it again, Brandon. Say how JJ and S-Man are pussies for not liking avocados and coffee.
Do it, Nick.
But I do like spicy stuff, so I ain't no pussy.
By the
I
way,
like spicy stuff too.
Here's what I gotta say. If you don't like coffee, you are therefore xenophobic against South American culture. That's what I have to say to those coffee haters out there.
So am I xenophobic? Am I xenophobic if I find South American women to be totally fucking hot? Damn.
I mean, yeah, they kind of are, and plus frappes are pretty good.
Brazilian women and their big booties.
Damn right.
Anyway.
Oh no.
Now he says you guys are morons, but let's go.
Popular food.
And that has actually created more avocado demand, which has meant good business for U.S. growers too. When it came to avocados, NAFTA was a win-win. It created this whole new staple of the American diet, and it built up this huge part of the Mexican economy. And avocados are just one example of this. Americans now drink a lot of Mexican beer and eat Mexican mangoes and papayas and fresh bell peppers and cucumbers from Canada.
But I will say that the Mexican beers, aka, the one that looks like piss. That shit's
Corona.
Yeah, Corona's fucking gross, man.
We all know that Darkon buys about half the cucumbers from Canada.
Yeah, only as dildos. But I fucking hate cucumbers, honestly. I mean,
You hate cucumbers? They're good.
I don't hate a lot of foods, but I hate raw cucumbers. I like pickles because you got the cucumbers. They're like the original flavor of a cucumber is completely drowned out with all the spices and vinegar, but still. And this Corona is awesome. Disavow. I mean, I kind of like Corona, but it's not really my go-to. Just FYI. And by the way, you guys are in the same camp as Warcorpse because he thinks that Corona is piss water.
I mean, Heineken's good though.
She also says, Red Feather does, cucumbers are awesome. Disavow. Well, fuck you too, Red Feather.
Cucumbers are good, especially in a salad.
Anyway.
Certain places around the world are better at making certain things, and to create efficiency in the global economy, one nation devotes its resources to the things that it's good at and exchanges.
S-man faps to no Boku no Pico, says Brandon. Ha!
Oh God, that
no, you fucking idiot.
I'm glad that I read that message before you deleted it, you S-man, you fucking pussy. You deleted it. You are a pussy.
And I realized what you said in the chat.
Shut up. Shut up.
Cucumbers and green peppers keep me alive. I like green peppers as well. I just don't like.
Bell peppers are good.
Okay.
Those things for the things that another nation is good at or is better at. So the United States is really good at growing corn, and we ship a lot of corn to Mexico. In turn, the United States buys a lot of avocados in the other direction.
And often that are.
S-man, I'm about to take away your moderating privileges, damn it.
Wow, that's just mean, S-man. That really is.
I don't give a fuck.
S-man, okay, in all seriousness, keep on reading his messages and put him in timeout one more time. I am going to seriously take away your mod privileges. All right?
I know. I'm just joking, but yeah.
All right. So, anyway.
Arrangement works out really well. But what if there's something that two countries are equally good at making, and the only difference is that one country has cheaper labor?
Historically, trade deals have been between high-income countries.
Dan Koff is our economics reporter.
The amount of low-skill and high-skill labor in those countries are relatively similar, and so it's not going to have necessarily a dramatic effect on the composition of labor.
But around the time when NAFTA was signed, that balance between the U.S. and Mexico was off. Mexican labor is cheaper.
Gee, I wonder why. I mean, they do have kind of some plutocratic things about their economy. Like originally, the oil companies and the electric companies and the railroads, they were for a while owned directly by the government. And then the government like sold those companies, those different industries to like individual billionaires, like what the fuck is the guy's name? Carlos Slim, for example, the one well-renowned Latin American business tycoon. So there is a bit of plutocracy in that area. Like they bought all the industry originally, and then they sold it, the entire monopoly of it, to just a few billionaires. But other than that, they don't have as many regulations as us when it comes to labor. I don't think they have a minimum wage law at all, even. See you later, Red Feather. Thanks for participating. Anyway.
But before NAFTA, that really didn't matter. By the time of Mexican...
Although I do have to say that the information that I got about Mexico's economy was just from Wikipedia, so like take the information that I said with only a grain of salt.
Or just a grain of sand.
Or a grain of DarkCon's attitude. SaltCon.
More like a grain of your attitude, where you're being salty with Brandon.
Whatever, SaltCon.
Okay.
Product made it across the border, it'd be slapped with a tax. So Mexican manufacturers were never really a threat. And certain industries in the US were heavily protected by taxes. Like, for example,
shoe manufacturers at that time had something like 15 to 17% tariffs on their product. So, that made it 17% more expensive to get the product from Mexico. As a result of NAFTA, those tariffs went down all the way to zero over 10 years. And that meant that it was much less appealing to do manufacturing of that good in the United States. And those jobs basically disappeared.
And that's
okay. So I'm getting so far that NAFTA is not an anti-liberty reaffirmment of, well, okay, I don't think reaffirmant is like a real term for legal terms, but it sounds like it's a reassuring of liberty than it is like a cut down on liberties when it comes to free trade. So yeah, I mean, so far I'm thinking that I'm for NAFTA from a liberty aspect. I mean, statistical aspect, it may be kind of costly, but I don't let I mean, me personally at least, if you can make the statistical argument for, say, single-payer healthcare, for example, I can see that your position is more understandable. But from a principled position, I would still be against it, and I hold the same standard to NAFTA. If you have like the statistical argument against NAFTA, well, I still cannot agree with you by principle because I'm pro-private property rights and pro-free trade and just free market capitalism
and lowering taxes.
Yeah.
Because that's what tariffs are. I'm anti-taxes, but I like me some tariffs. Trump supporters.
Exactly.
Mr. says in the chat, S-Man's going to make me vote conservative. I'm voting conservative because of S-Man. Who is this guy, S-Man?
Who?
Mr. Pepe 3054.
Oh, that's fucking Brandon. I would vote. There's a few elections which, if I was to vote in that area, I'd vote Republican.
All right.
In a few areas, I'd vote Democratic.
Honestly, I think just Democrats and Republicans should just get along so they can work with each other's on their, lacking parts.
All right. Republicans can balance out Democrats on not being very free market. I mean, Republicans are not exactly free market capitalists themselves, but just ever so slightly more than Democrats, at least. And Democrats can balance out Republicans when it comes to social freedoms.
Yes, I'm not saying it's going to be as good as if libertarians were in charge, but it would not be bad, I don't think.
Libertarians are the perfect cross-platform between those two. Anyway.
Basically.
The story we're familiar with by now. Cheaper Mexican labor means the jobs go to Mexico. But changes like that affected more than just the manufacturing jobs.
It was not only the people who worked in the factories that lost their jobs, but even the people surrounding them. So if you worked in a coffee shop, or if you worked in a department store in a town that relied on that shoe manufacturer, you would also lose your job.
That's how an entire shoe manufacturing town can be devastated by NAFTA.
Okay, so far, I like of how this website or this channel is like taking an objective approach to NAFTA. I mean, first it was mentioning all the positives of NAFTA, like, oh, now avocados are more available worldwide and people have more liberties to handle their businesses how they want internationally and in a free trade kind of way. But then on the downside, statistically, certain areas of the United States lost jobs and entire industries.
I like that. It's very subjective.
Objective, like.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, objective.
Anyway.
But 100 miles away from that town, you might have no idea. And that is emblematic of how Americans experience NAFTA's pros and cons. The pros were spread around, a little bit of benefit to a lot of people.
Whether you're in Texas or you're in Washington State or Massachusetts, you can now get shoes cheaper as a result of the products that were made in Mexico. You might be able to get avocados year-round.
And most Americans probably didn't even notice those changes. Who really thinks about NAFTA every time they pick up an avocado at the grocery store?
Conwell.
Until now, at least.
Good God.
But the cons of NAFTA were concentrated. For a relatively small group of people, the pain was deep. And it was deepest in the American South.
I thought it was in the Rust Belt.
Nope. I think it was more so in the South.
I mean, yeah, understandable. I mean, it probably affected the Rust Belt second best.
On metal.
Still, that was not like Republicans typically, I would think, are typically pro free trade, or at least before Trump came in. But then Trump came in and like parroted around the one issue that Rust Belters were concerned about, or at least one of the big issues, and then that kind of flipped them. But when it came to free trade, that didn't hardly phase the Deep South. I mean, they were like more concerned about guns and religion than they were about free trade or an anti-free trade stance like the Rust Belt might be. I can only understand that the Rust Belt, despite of how liberal or conservative it might be, generally speaking, I mean, I do not know for certain. I do not know the polling data for how Rust Belters feel about free trade, whether for or against it, but I can only imagine that they are generally against it. Anyway.
You'll definitely notice other people who lose their jobs.
And that is the question at the core of NAFTA. On balance, Americans probably saved money because of it, and they got stuff they wouldn't have had otherwise. And some people lost their jobs. Was it worth it?
I will say this. I would encourage everybody to buy American products first. You know, I mean, yeah, sure, the Chinese product, JJ's Eyes, may be a little more expensive. They may be a little more expensive, but hey, you know, I think it eventually would make American products cheaper, and I think that we wouldn't need. It could be like social protectionism rather than actual economic protectionism.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one thing that this video is also not taken into account that I want to point out. It's not taken into account minimum wage and minimum wage laws. I mean, if we got rid of the minimum wage laws, I mean, say somebody could like pay a very low wage worker like only $5 an hour. That job would probably stay in the United States. And before anyone goes freaking out about minimum wage laws, as it currently stands, all the people that are currently working, over 80% of people, of low wage workers, work above minimum wage. Probably not greatly above minimum wage, but if we were to get rid of the minimum wage, all the people currently working in the United States would probably not just immediately get their salaries decreased.
Yeah, and I'm going to send Dark Con a video in the DMs, so you might want to check that. But this is like to watch later, because it's like way more in depth, and I think you'll find it very interesting.
I'll have to listen to it at work. But anyway.
Well, yeah.
All right, that was the end of the video. Probably
that was actually very interesting.
Yeah, I liked it.
Same.
I'm gonna check out the other videos from Quartz, and I'll even check.
I'm actually gonna go to Quartz and maybe subscribe to them if I like what I see.
There's then the channel I had responded to last night. I have subscribed just to, because they're asking, should we even have presidents, or should we let 12-year-olds vote? And I'm like, are you fucking for real?
Wait, what? Quartz is saying that?
No, it's this other channel I responded to last night about mandatory voting.
Oh.
I think they're called America from Scratch.
Virtual pop star may be the future of pop music.
Where you get that, JJ?
I got that from Quartz. These sex dolls in China are family companions more than toys. What?
Oh my fucking god!
A 3D printed bionic eye.
Huh? Does it actually work, or is it just like a prop to make it not look like you have a hole in your head?
I don't know. It's a 1 minute 41 second video.
All right. How long is this article? Seems just a little bit lengthy, but still. I mean, this is getting more into like fun fact territory than actual need to know information for the modern day politics. So, anyway, why we took cocaine out of soda, social injustice, and a most wonderful invigorator of sexual organs.
Yeah, I subscribe to Quartz.
When cocaine and alcohol meet inside a person, they create a third unique drug called cocaethylene. Cocaethylene works like cocaine, but with more euphoria. So in 1863, when Parisian chemist Parisian. I
Parisian.
think it might be from Paris or something. That's what they're.
Your audio is a little messed up there, Con.
It is.
Does it sound any better?
There we go.
Yeah.
Was I sounding like Optimus Prime?
You sounded a little muffled. Like it was a little hard to hear you. You weren't sounding like a robot though.
You sound just quiet.
Yeah.
All right. So in 1863, when Paris resident chemist Angelo Mariani combined coca, and wine and started selling it, a butterfly did flap its wings. His Vin Marion became extremely popular. Jules Verne, Alexander Dumas, and Arthur Conan Doyle were among literary figures said to have used it, and the chief rabbi of France said, "Praise be to Mariani's wine."
Wait, what? Arthur Conan Doyle used it?
That is blasphemy. Apparently, and he said, "Praise be to Mariani's wine," instead of "Praise be to."
No, the chief rabbi of France said that.
Right. Did I say Pope? I meant chief rabbi. I don't know.
No, you said chief rabbi.
Okay. Pope Leo the 13th reportedly carried a flask of it regularly and gave Mariani a medal. Seeing this commercial success, Dr. John Stith Pemberton in Atlanta, himself a morphine addict, following an inquiry in the Civil War, set out to make his own version. He called it Pemberton's French Wine Coca and marketed it as a panacea, however you pronounce that, among many fantastic claims. He called it a most wonderful invigorator of sexual organs. So it was the blue pill of its time.
Basically.
Apparently. But as Pemberton's business started to take off, a prohibition was passed in his county in Georgia, a local one that predated the 18th Amendment by 34 years. Soon, French wine coca was illegal because of the alcohol, not the cocaine.
Well, shoot me in the foot and call me the guy that said I just shot myself.
This must have been the precursor to prohibition.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord. Yeah, prohibition doesn't work.
It really doesn't.
And but with
It really didn't, although it did help the Kennedys get rich.
Yep, and it helped a lot of people get rich that I'm pretty sure that they didn't intend to get rich. And I think you can make the same argument with guns. You know, prohibition didn't work for drugs, alcohol. Well, I mean, the war on drugs is essentially prohibition, so it's an attempt at it.
Yeah. Al Capone, I think he was made rich off of prohibition as well. Like he was in the black market of selling alcohol or something.
Yes, he was.
All right. Pemberton remained a step ahead, though. He replaced the wine in the formula with healthier sugar syrup. His new product debuted in 1886, Coca-Cola, the temperance drink. After that, as Grace Elizabeth Hale recounted recently in the New York Times, Coca-Cola quickly caught on as an intellectual beverage. Wait, what? Intellectual beverage. And nowadays, when you think Coca-Cola, you do not think intellectuality. You think obesity more.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or a freaking polar bear.
Polar bear.
Either one or the other. Or Santa Claus.
To be honest, polar bears are pretty good.
They are.
Wait, what?
Polar bears are pretty cool.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
I want to hug one, but also I don't want to die.
I mean, if you like animals that kill their own children,
They probably kill them to save them.
They're probably better than a lot of human beings out there today.
Yep.
I don't know. How large a percentage of the U.S. population of males, fathers, tried to kill their own kids? I mean, sure there are, but still.
Khan tried to kill his son. His son being his older avatar.
Oh yeah. I gotta do like a video that is showcasing the evolution of the Zach Edwards / dark conservatarian avatar.
Yeah.
Intellectual beverage among well-off... what? Quickly caught on as an intellectual beverage among well-off whites. Really? I mean, that's not really surprising, I guess, considering the time. When the company started selling it in bottles in 1899, minorities who couldn't get into the segregated soda fountains suddenly had access to it. Hale explains, anyone with a nickel, black or white, could now drink the cocaine-infused beverage. Middle-class whites worried that soft drinks were contributing to what they saw as exploding cocaine use among African Americans. You know, I think this is like what's the old myths or facts, whatever it is.
Now you're getting muffled again.
Damn it! Am I all right now?
Yeah, you're fine for now.
I don't know if you're like covering your microphone or if you're going too far away. I don't know what you're doing.
Are you doing that, S-Man?
No.
Well, you sound pretty quiet whenever you said that.
Well, I put my microphone like on this box near my monitor.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, as I was trying to comment, I mean, wasn't there something about certain people trying to push for the drug war, saying that cocaine will increase the smartness of African Americans or something?
What?
For some reason, I thought I heard somebody say that one of the reasons why some racist white people were pushing for the drug war was because of the way that it'll mentally influence black people. I don't know. It's either in a positive or negative way. I thought they were saying like in a positive way influences the intellectuality of black people. So therefore, we cannot let them outsmart us. So push for the drug war and make it harsh on black people.
Because white people are better.
I'm going to be taking so many clips from this stream. I know it.
I don't know. I don't know
joking.
the actual fact of that, but I thought that was something I heard. Anyway, continuing on before we let our ignorance shine anymore. And by our, I mean mine more specifically. Southern newspapers reported that Negro cocaine fiends were raping white women. Okay, so that...
What the fuck?
That was the myth, I think, that was fueling the drug war partially. Particularly the racial aspect of the drug war.
Clearly.
The police powerless to stop them. By 1903, then manager of Coca-Cola, Asa Griggs, Candler had bowed to white fears, and a wave of anti-narcotics legislation, removing the cocaine and adding more sugar and caffeine, thus accelerating it, progressing it to more and more of the modern day Coca-Cola that we know nowadays. Nowadays. Jeez, fucking English. Hale's account of the role of racism and social injustice in Coca-Cola's removal of coca is corroborated by the attitudes that shaped subsequent U.S. cocaine regulation movement. Cocaine wasn't even illegal until 1914, 11 years after Coca-Cola's change, but a massive surge in cocaine use was at its peak at the turn of the century. Recreational use increased fivefold in a period of less than 2 decades. During that time, racially oriented arguments about rape and other violence and social effects, more so than physical health concerns, came to shape the discussion. The same hypersexuality that was touted as a selling point during the short-lived glory days of Vin Mariani was now a crux of cocaine's bigoted indictment. Okay, I also want to say, side note, that this is from The Atlantic, and I know that The Atlantic is like a center or moderate left website. I don't consider them to be outright biased, like disgustingly biased to the point of MSNBC or CNN or anything like that. But still, I just want to point that out as a disclaimer in case people are wondering of why it's kind of using left-leaning language. Anyway, but other than that, I trust The Atlantic in its interpretation of this story, though. I mean, especially of the time that they are explaining this.
Yeah.
U.S. State Department official Dr. Hamilton writes that in 1910, the use of cocaine by the Negroes of the South is one of the massive and troublesome questions which confront the enforcement of the law. Often the direct incentive to the crime of rape by the Negroes, Dr. Edward Williams described in the Medical Standard in 1914. The Negro who has become a cocaine doper is a constant menace to his community. His whole nature is changed for the worse. Timid Negroes develop a degree of Dutch courage, which is sometimes almost incredible. I mean, I kind of doubt that is a fact. I mean, I think they might be over-exaggerating on the effects that cocaine has upon black people. But even if that was true, it's like it almost shows a sense of fear that this white guy has, I don't know, maybe towards black people at the time. I mean, assuming that's true, the way that cocaine can affect a person, well, then why not white people take it too if it has so many positive aspects of it? But again, I kind of doubt that this is actually a fact, and the person might as well just be over.
Zach, your audio is pretty bad again.
Is your connection not working?
Shit. No, I'm hardlined. It says that I have internet access down here. I do not know why that might be.
Switch your microphone, like in the sense of like go to the settings on Hangouts and then choose the old mic you were using. Maybe that'll help you.
I'm not on the headset mic. I'm on my home and office mic. Or you're talking about my webcam mic.
You're using your. I know what microphone you're. I know what you're using. I mean, I go to the settings in the Hangout, you know, and it'll tell you what mic you're using. Just choose a different mic, then switch back to the old one.
All right, webcam mic.
Oh God, that's fucking horrible. I wouldn't even make my worst enemy listen to that. Then try the mic you were using before.
Yeah, I switched it back.
Okay.
All right. I mean, remember the good old days when it used to sound like that I was talking through a plastic cup.
Yes.
Anyway, yes, even the Dutch were not spared from the racism. The Coca-Cola we know today still contains coca, but the xenogen, how do we pronounce that? Alkaloid is removed from it. Perfecting that extract took until 1929. So before that, there were still trace amounts of coca's psychoactive elements in Coca-Cola. As Dominic Streatfeild, however you pronounce that, describes in Cocaine, an unauthorized biography. The extraction is now done at a New Jersey chemical processing facility by a company called Stepan. In 2003, Stepan imported 175,000 kilograms of coca for Coca-Cola. That's enough to make more than $200 million worth of cocaine. They refer to the coca leaf extract simply as merchandise number 5. The facility is guarded. Okay. I mean, what do you guys think of that tidbit of information that the Atlantic has provided?
That's pretty interesting. And your audio is, again, it's going into the toilet.
Yeah.
You mean sounding muffled?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just keep your mic as close as you can. Like, not as close as JJ puts it, but just...
Dude, my mic is not that close to my face.
This is generally the length that I am away from my microphone when I'm speaking.
That's weird. Sometimes it just starts to fade out. I'm like, what the hell happened?
Maybe a son, you might need to buy a new mic or something. I don't know.
Or just do a test.
I got this thing like last Christmas as a Christmas present from somebody. I'm gonna feel bad if I have to like completely replace it with, say, a Snowball or a Blue Yeti.
Darkon's not professional enough for a Blue Yeti, and I don't think any of us are. I'm just kidding. But I don't know.
I thought Blue Yetis were the more professional type.
Yeah, I'm gonna invest.
Maybe I'm wrong.
If I invest in anything else, I'm probably gonna try and upgrade my computer before I upgrade anything else, really.
Yeah, I'll replace my computer before I replace a new mic. Get a better mic.
You would replace your computer before you got a better mic? Well, here's the thing. I invested a good amount of money into this computer, so ain't nothing happening there with a computer replacement. I mean, computers are expensive as shit.
Yeah, and ain't that the fucking truth?
Actually, no, they're not as expensive as shit because literal manure, I can only imagine, is cheaper by the pound as compared to computers.
Darkon is being so pedantic right now.
Yes, I am Drax.
I am Groot.
You're Groot and I'm Drax?
Yep.
I thought that would be the opposite because I am taller and thinner than you.
Well, maybe not in body size, but in personality.
I'm taller than Darkon easily.
Dude, you're the same height as me.
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure I'd still be a little taller than Darkon.
How tall are you?
I'm almost 6 feet tall. Like, I'm getting really close.
Me too.
Hashtag me too.
Why the fuck am I so short?
Oh man, nobody is going to ever hear that saying again. Me too.
Yeah. Without thinking about that movement. But
Hashtag me too movement.
Or at least those of us who pay a decent amount of attention to politics and the internet.
Everybody likes politics, except people that don't.
Yeah, I made a video talking about apolitical people, and I kind of liked it. And I also did a video talking about young people in politics, and it kind of felt good to do those videos.
Gay people in politics. They're not as much of faggots anymore.
Oh my fucking god, Crusader! If we could get more, if the Libertarian Party was able to convince the minorities the Democrats pretend to care about to go into the Libertarian Party, oh man, it'd be so sweet. If the Democrats placed second and we placed second and they placed third, that'd be great. There's only one Senate race I know of where that's actually a likely chance, and that's with Gary Johnson placing second and the Republican placing third. The polling is looking so bad for the Republican. I'm loving it. Like, if I was the what?
Go on.
If I was the Republican, I would literally drop out of the race, and I would encourage the Republican Party of New Mexico to literally endorse the guy. Because then at that point, since it's just pluralities, the Democrat is leading in the polls, you probably have a better chance of unseating the Democrat.
I mean, at least Republicans can agree with libertarians on economic liberty, but that's the thing. I mean, Republicans like to be petty with the Libertarian Party on the small issues, or at least what should be considered some small issues.
And then the Democrats go all fucking on us.
Yeah, and then the spoiler. It's like, even if that's true, that's not an argument against us running. Like, if your candidacy is so bad that people are going to vote third party, or if your candidacy is so unappealing they're going to vote third party, that's not our problem, honey. That's your problem.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not spoilers are a myth is irrelevant. Doesn't mean that either way whether or not that third-party candidate should actually run.
People should start voting third party.
Yeah, there's a third-party candidacy for my district. I'd vote for him first, then the Democrat second, and then my incumbent congressman third. I mean, he was doing really badly in that debate. He was getting all upset because they were all accusing him of being a corporate hack, which he is. And I would go with the third party guy because the Democrat, he sounds like he likes gun control.
Right.
Fucking Democrats and their, pro gun control.
I might as well be quoting that Rorik guy from the Discord server who's all like, it's because of you idiots that we almost lose all these elections. Or something like that. I can't remember what exactly he said. I sent you the screen cap for that, right, S-Man?
That guy was a tard.
Yeah, that guy was, yeah.
I hope. Every time I deal with these conservative douchebags online when they're just being an idiot towards me.
Hey, I'm a conservative, you douchebag.
But you're not a douchebag, you douchebag. Anytime I meet some of these people that are assholes who are conservative, it makes me want to vote for the Democrats. I mean, historically speaking, the Democrats have a chance at making gains. If you look at my midterm video, explained that historically speaking, the party that's not in power in midterms tend to make gains. Although there are exceptions, and if the Democrats fuck up like they had in 2014 and in 2016, and if they keep repeating the mistakes, then Donald Trump will be the first president in 16 years to have his party make gains in the midterm. That midterm video was fun, especially the music. I liked it.
I'm thinking of doing like a demographics video on my channel, like asking of what is the different beliefs and race and gender and all those other aspects of my subscriber base.
Oh, speaking of,
I'm curious.
Oh, sorry, Zach, but I'm thinking about doing a Crusader News in like a couple of days, and I'm wondering if anyone would like to join.
I'll probably join.
Probably not. I don't know if I'll be busy or not.
And if you have any articles you want to talk about, of course, we can talk about them.
Right. And like I said, I think I've said this plenty of times before, you two, Loudmouth, Aspie, or Conundrum, can go ahead and link me articles whenever you want that you want to feature on the show. I mean, I know that Aspie has done it a few times, and so has S-Man, but everyone else I don't think has done that. Conundrum actually plans on doing an article reading to feature on Strike Force as a Strike Force editorial, so that will be cool. Anyway, I think I'm going to end the stream right here because we have gone on way too long after the being done with all the article readings. So, anything that you two have to say closing out?
NAFTA's great, and the fact Trump renamed it basically means nothing. And I can't wait till I can vote in 2020. And that's pretty much what I have to say. And thanks for having me on, DarkCon, and it's been good talking to you and Crusader.
Trump likes to suck Jello out of belly buttons.
The fuck?
Oh, you mean the Jello he put protectionism on, right? The tariffs on?
Okay. And
yes.
So
anyway, but yeah.
What I have to say in closing is Elon Musk, a rich billionaire, is actually helping in a rather humane way with people's water in Flint. So eat that, socialists, and even you social democrats. But on the flip side, Elon Musk, please donate more. Hold up your announcement to help with the water of all households as well as the schools of Flint.
And I'd also like to ask Elon Musk if he could do a little donation to yours truly's PayPal.
Same. I'll make a PayPal so he can donate to me, please.
Elon Musk, notice us. I report the news. So anyway, so I am Zach, the Dark Conservatarian. This has been my co-host S-Man and the Crusader. It's been a busy weekend, and I don't know when's the next time they'll get to do another Strike Force. Like I said, busy next month, but whenever, I'll see you later. God bless.